Wow, this is a wow moment for me because I've come all the way from India, visiting my daughter here in Boston. And I really visualized I'm going to have a live event with you. And I'm so grateful to the universe for choosing me to be on the seat.
You chose yourself.
Yeah.
Is no one listening? You create your own reality. Don't be grateful to the universe. Be grateful to your ability to create your own reality. The universe is a cooperative component. You said, I wanted it, I visualized it, I imagined it, I found the feeling place of it. I'm sitting right on the front row where, as much as Abraham's been trying to avoid me, we're just kidding.
Yeah, that's a big learning for me because I'm so used to saying this, and I realized this sitting here today.
Good, really good.
Okay, now I just wanted to also get some clarity. You know, I've been working on myself for 6 years, done a lot of workshops and courses, and really begun to understand.
I've been coming into more alignment with who I am every day.
Yeah.
Working on myself makes it sound like there was something wrong with you. I've been enjoying the steady evolution of my understanding of who I am.
Okay, yeah.
Working on myself makes you sound broken. You never were.
Okay.
And you're not done yet. There's so much more work for all of you to do. No, it's not like that. It's more fun to be had, more clarity to be understood, more opportunities to flow, more reasons for connection, more energy to stream through on more subjects. That's what it's like. You're not climbing the rungs of a ladder. You're not making redemption for things left undone. You're joyful creators here to joyfully create. There's nothing serious going on.
Yeah. Okay, so what I want to ask you is, how do I feel that a lot of fears grip me at times. I want to move ahead and co-create the life that I want.
An emotion of fear just means quite a bit of momentum, which means it's a thought that you think often. Yeah. So if you can avoid the thoughts that produce fear, in time, those thoughts will peter out. They will become less and less and less. And the fear will dissolve also. So you don't take an issue or something that you feel fear around and tackle it, because that's that war against poverty, war against drugs, war against violence, war against terrorism. They just get bigger and bigger. So you have to distract yourself. So the remedy to letting fear leave you is by looking as often as you can in the direction of things that make you feel joyful. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I'm really afraid of this. What should I do? Never think about it again. But Abraham, it's big and it's there. Really, what should I do? How should I deal with this fear? Try not to think about it. But you're not understanding. I've got this thing that I need to deal with. What should I do? Think about things that make you feel happy. But how can I think about things that make me feel happy when I've got these things that I'm worried about? Well, you have to catch yourself when you're not focused upon what's bothering you. First thing in the morning, just watch for those opportunities. Because when you understand that everything is about your point of attraction, and your point of attraction is about what you're giving your attention to, what you're broadcasting and your receiving mode are for the identical reasons. So when you find yourself feeling a lot of fear about something, it's time for you to sort of change your focus if you can. Spend time with different people. Do different things. Do things so that whatever it is that's causing the fear will loosen its grip on you a little bit, you see.
Okay. And how do I overcome this feeling that when I get up in the morning, I feel very emotional? I'm not, of course, I then align myself and I get out of it.
A feeling of releasing resistance often does feel emotional. It often even brings tears.
Yeah.
In other words, a feeling of releasing resistance is a feeling of relief. And a feeling of relief is an indication of a raising of vibration.
Okay.
And so understanding that and focusing in that direction will cause you to allow more momentum about that to happen.
So it's okay to get up feeling that way?
It's okay to get up feeling however you're feeling, because you can't do anything about it. The worst thing in the world is to feel some way and say, I shouldn't be doing this. That is the least helpful thing. But to acknowledge that you are feeling it And then if you can, to identify how you really want to feel, or what are the positive aspects in what you are feeling. The better it gets, the better it gets, the worse it gets, the worse it gets. So wherever you are, you're the one who has to lean it toward feeling better, or you're the one who leans it toward feeling worse. So we just ask you, is beating up on yourself for something you're feeling helpful or unhelpful? It's not helpful, is it?
No.
How did you get that way? Because a lot of people seem to need you to feel different than you did so that they could feel better. But that's sort of water under the bridge. Now you're standing in your powerful now. You have more choices. You all have more choices than you are often exercising. Most people, we love you so much, are responding or reacting to conditions. So the majority of the vibration that you offer is in reaction to what is, which is really a pretty silly thing, because you're the creator of what's to come. But if you keep reacting to what is, then what do you keep creating? More of what is.
Yeah.
Okay. So that could be helpful, is just begin saying to yourself, I'm not going to be such a reactor to what is. I'm going to be more of a acknowledger of the best parts rather than a reactor to maybe the part that is the most dominant.
Okay.
We've been talking a lot about unconditional love. And this is a word that you all have used in your society for a long time. We don't think you really have understood what it is. So to help you to understand, we want to say unconditional alignment, unconditional clarity, unconditional love. Unconditional meaning I'm having this feeling apart from a condition that I may be witnessing or living. In other words, the condition doesn't have dominance over my connection to source. That is true longevity. This is just a temporary thing. And so I'm not going to let my now point of attraction be influenced by this whimsical, flimsy, unimportant condition when I have this long-standing, pure positive energy flowing to me and through me all the time. So I'm choosing to be unconditional, which means I'm ignoring the condition. But most of you do not ignore conditions. Most of you see them, talk about them, seek validation about them, defend against them, and practice a vibration that won't let go of you because you're keeping it active. But there's no assertion, so nothing can pounce on you. No condition has the power to affect your vibration. You only have the power to invite it by your attention to it. There's no assertion, there's only attraction, you see. Okay. And so when you decide that how you feel matters, then you don't let conditions rattle you. And then in time, you don't feel threatened by anything. And it's as our friend earlier pointed out, and a lot of you sometimes feel this way, I don't feel safe because I don't trust myself to hold a steady vibration. But in time you will. In time you will know. In time you'll get it. In other words, Esther will say things like, a few years ago, this condition would have taken me down and kept me in turmoil for days before I worked myself out of it. Now she'll say, this condition, it's not so significant. Oh, it affects me. It affects me because I saw it. It's in opposition to what I want, but it's a rumble strip and not much more often. Jerry used to tell a story, and Esther loved it because he always wore beautiful sweaters. He had a lot of cashmere sweaters. He really liked these beautiful fibers and wools. And he would tell the story that if you're sitting in front of a fireplace and there's a chinkapin log on the fire, Esther was never sure if she ever saw one of those, but she liked the way he said chinkapin log on the fire. She thought it must be a particular poppy kind of log, you know, popping, popping, popping. And a spark comes out and lands on your sweater. If you just flick it right off, nothing happened. Just flick it off. Be aware and flick it off. But if you say, oh, looky there. Damn you, chinkapin log. Look what you've done. In a minute, you're going to have a little hole in your sweater. And so the same thing is true of any negative emotion. Just flick it off or turn to the power that is really you, you say. Something more?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, like you say that when you ask, it's given to you. So
when you ask, you put it into the vortex, and the vortex accomplishes it, and accomplishes it quickly.
So,
it is given.
Okay.
You just got to be in the receiving mode so that you can let it into your experience. It's given to you as all things begin in vibrational form. But in order for you to be in a place where you allow yourself to receive it and translate it from the vibration to the thought and from the thought to the thing, you've got to hold some sort of steady vibrational alignment with it in order to get to witness the joyful becoming of what you want. Do you know that by the time you get the idea of something, you go, whoo, what a good idea that is. It has come along and come along and come along. It's almost done by the time you are even able to know that you want it. Did you hear that? By the time that you are even able to know that you want it, it is well developed and it is a sure thing. But because you don't know that, because you don't start even measuring its becoming until it's coming into something that you can tangibly see. So often when you want something and you can't see it and you can't figure out how it's going to come about, you let the absence of it be the dominant thing in your vibration and you slow it way, 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 way down. But if you could really believe what we say, that by the time you desire it, it's ripe, it's big, it's full, so much has happened, it's ready for you to start allowing the wonderful things to show themselves to you. That's the sweet spot. The sweet spot is between the realization, the conscious realization that you want it, standing there in certainty, knowing that if this time-space reality has the wherewithal to give you the desire, that it has the wherewithal to give you the full manifestation of it. When you know that, then when those desires happen like that, you go, here we go, here we go. Now what others would call magic, and I know the normalcy of non-physical knocking itself out to give me every little nuance and every little detail of every little thing that I want. Here we go, here we go. Here we go. Me and all that is and the energy that creates worlds flowing toward that.
Okay.
But you got to muster some worthiness before you're talking like that.
So the question was that, do I need to keep asking every day for it, or if I just ask once?
Here's the answer. If every time you focus upon it, it thrills you, then keep doing that. But if you're asking from your standpoint of needing something that you don't have, you're slowing it way down every time you ask. You have to ask yourself, from what framework am I asking? Am I pleading? Am I pleading for it? Please, please, I need this so much. Please, please.
I got my answer.
Say your prayers from a standpoint of appreciation, not from a standpoint of need. Because need doesn't let in what you want.
Yeah. But then when we say we are grateful, so that's also... it's important to be grateful. So when we say grateful to something, then is that wrong to say that?
Oh, your appreciation is the most powerful allowing stance that you can be in. Grateful has a lot of resistance in it. Because when you're grateful, you're often grateful to have overcome the difficulty. And the difficulty is often pretty strong in your vibration. Where think about the literal word appreciation. It's something wonderful becoming more.
Oh, okay, that's the difference.
Some say, Abraham, you're really nitpicking about those two words. They are vibrational worlds apart.
Oh, okay. Wow. I really learned a lot today.
Yeah.
Thank you so
really
much.
Good.
Thank you.
Really good.